And I'm still trying to figure out why. Like, is it really necessary? Y'all supposed to be cool dudes and stuff like that. And like I said, they're both hotheads, so it is going to be it is what it is type of situation. But Meek Mill probably want to stay off of Twitter too now, because remember we had to say how Wale had to get off of Twitter. Only difference is Wale don't got no warrants against him and stuff like that. Rick Ross, I keep saying Rick Ross. Wale don't have no people out in the DA offices trying to out to get him. Now that's a different story right now for Mr. Meek Mill himself. So Meek Mill is going to be reportedly spending 3 to 6 months behind bars after violating his probation. So, according to a report from Philadelphia's Fox 29, shout out to Fox 29 in Philly, people. Y'all know what channel that is. The Philly rapper, real name Robert Williams, is currently in custody as prosecutors were concerned about a number of recent incidents with the MC. He is on probation for a 2008 gun and drug conviction, for which he served 8 months in jail and began 5 years of probation in the fall of 2009. And he reportedly posted a photo of himself with a gun. The rep for the rapper's label, Atlantic, declined to request for comment. And now, here's another thing too, where he was, that may have drew concern for him being arrested right now. So, according to the DA office in Philly, he actually is in trouble because he was sent to jail for missing parole meetings and for the comments he made on Twitter. So because of that, they're in their feelings about that, and he basically is going to be in trouble for that whole situation. So he's going to be spending 3 to 6 months in jail. It's another Chris Brown situation on deck right now, because y'all know how when Chris Brown was supposed to come out with his X album, that's when he started getting in trouble. So now we got to do, we got to lock the vault on Meek Mill, because he might not be, might be out for his album release, people. His album is scheduled for, like I said, September 9th, Dreams Worth More Than Money. So, doing my calculations on my hand, it's July right now. July, August, September, October. Now, October could be the earliest it could be released. October, November, December. January, he could also be the latest he be released. So, he's not going to basically be out at all when his album drops. So, it is what it is. And, it should be a lesson learned to him now. It should be a lesson learned to really, calm down, Meek. It's not that necessary. You're a Philly hothead, we all know it, but, dude, you gotta chill out sometimes. You just gotta, you gotta do it. You just got to. It's not that necessary, to be completely honest with you. It's really not. So, it's a lesson learned for him, and we shall see how this whole thing plays out in the future, people. So we're going to keep y'all updated on that story for sure, everyone. Now, another person who got sentenced this week, too, we've been talking about on the FNL Radio for a long time as well, is Mr. Apollo Nida. Now, Apollo, he been out here fraudulating in these streets real quick, taking old people's retirement check monies from Delta Airlines and stuff, and claiming to be other people on fraudulent identity theft and bank statements and stuff like that. So, a judge earlier this week, it was a few days ago actually, is putting the Real Housewives of Atlanta husband Phaedra behind bars, and it did not go too well, people. So while Apollo's lawyer tried to build a case based on his client's tough childhood, the federal court judge just wasn't here for any of that bullshit and sentenced Apollo to 8 years, people. 8 years in the clinker. So let's get a clink for that, people. So he's serving 8 years in prison for his 4-year scheme that defrauded folks out of $2 million, everyone. $2 million of them things. So Apollo was released earlier this year for identity theft and bank fraud after authorities say Phaedra's husband was out there running these streets and running shell companies, milking unsuspecting victims out of their money and falsely cashing checks. So, according to the Atlanta Journal-Chronicles, Apollo left the courtroom seemingly annoyed by the sentence. Dressed in a tan suit and wearing a beard and mustache thicker than seen on the television show, questioned the slightly harsher 96-month sentence to the judge and appeared annoying after the hearing. The government did what they had to do, Nida said before entering the elevator to downtown federal courthouse. When asked if he was unhappy with the sentence, he said, "Whatever the judge gave." After his May sentencing, he took full responsibility of his actions and claimed that only he did it because he felt like he needed to keep up with Phaedra's income and lifestyle portrayed on the show. Now, that still doesn't make sense, too. Why would you have to... you had it made. That was your girl. She was, she was taking care of you. You had a real I'm still questioning her lawyer skills too, because I mean, if you're taking money from, I know they do this in Atlanta too. You know, they do this in these streets out here, but they'll take money under the table in envelopes, cash money. You know, usually you're supposed to write checks and stuff and get a nice little invoice. But no, if you're taking money under the streets and writing a little paper check receipts from Family Dollar real quick, of course your lawyering skills are going to be put to the test. I mean, Bobby Brown couldn't get off. I'm just saying. So, and you didn't help Sheree out in her case, and you damn sure didn't help Candy out in her case against old little Kim Zolciak wig. So, I mean, hey, if you couldn't help them, I'm pretty sure that's why you didn't even try to help your husband, because you just knew something was up from the get-go. And the accomplice that was working with Apollo spoke out too. So I'm wondering how this is going to play out next season too, because they got those two little boys, and the president and the other little thing that they call someone, that little boy who's already shady for his age that he's at right now. I'm still trying to figure out how this is going to play out to the next season of the show, and how the show is coming back in November. You know how Real Housewives of Atlanta has a nice little turnaround, so it's coming back in November. So I'm really going to try to figure out how this whole situation is going to be played out on the show now, being that Phaedra's going to be like a little single woman now on the show, and it is what it is. But if someone likes to keep going to jail all the time, that's all I got to think of that whole situation. And folks, it is what it is now. That's all you can think about. If someone keeps going to jail, they might like that little. Hey, it is what it is. But moving on to someone else who keeps acting up in these streets, who just won't learn. Now, we've been talking about him every time, people. Remember, I had to take a break from talking about this game of Truth or Truth, because he has coined that new game, people. And I told Hasbro that I need to hop on this game real quick. But after that boy in Hive tried to he killed his wife for allegedly playing the game of Truth or Truth with her and stabbing her all up through the neck and stuff, I decided to take a break from promoting the game of Truth or Truth. But the mastermind behind the game of Truth or Truth, Mr. Columbus Short, is in trouble again, people. Now, on 4th of July weekend, he was turning up out in these streets, acting the fool. So, here's what happened. He was at a bar, and he got arrested on 4th of July for being in another brawl fight again, people, in the bar fight. So, he was arrested in Dallas, Texas, for fighting the security guard at the bar. So, TMZ reports that he looked like he was trying to leave KD Trail Ice House without paying his tab after 4 hours that included a lot of drinking. When the guard approached him, an argument ensued where Short accused the guard, a black man, of racism. You drunk and you drunk all them beers and you acting crazy. A group of off-duty cops who work at the bar broke up this scuffle, but it's also reported that the actor then tried to attack the cops, leading to his arrest. It's the second bar fight of this year for Short, who was arrested for banging out and brawling out in bars in Los Angeles back in March, people. And then he also tried to kill his wife and himself when he was playing that game of Truth or Truth. And then he was fired from the scandal. So this is not a good look for him. And if y'all, I'm trying to remember which movie it was, because we always talk about how every movie role he has, he plays this role very well, trying to be the bad guy in the bars and beat up people. Now, I think this was the same situation again, like I always talk about in This Christmas and in that movie Stomp the Yard. Just calling it what it is, people. But this guy's a little crazy. So, and we're going to talk about this next week, because he also had a new statement about this whole situation. So we're going to talk about that next week on his statement of how he feels about, the new allegations against him and stuff like that. And he feels like he's being targeted. So we're definitely going to talk about that next week, people. But right now, I'm about to get into some new music real quick before we close out the show. Now, here is a new one from Kalina. She's been turning up every week on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I love her personality on the show, K Diddy Bop. I love her whole relationship with her husband Tony, and also that hood's tied chick Ashley, who's really turned up to the max, people. I love their little relationship and the whole situation. It's very ratchet. It's not for me, but it's for them, and I love it. If you love it, I love it too. So it is what it is. But here's Kalina right now, her new single Murder here on FNL. Then we got your TV rundown and also some chart news real quick before we end out the show, so y'all keep it here.
If your love is for me, I don't need nothing else, baby. You make me believe in me. Real love can do anything. Put all your trust in me. Let's make memories.
Alright, people, that was the one right there from Miss Kalina right there. It's called Murder, people. So y'all be on the lookout for that new joint right there. Y'all say I had to go clear my nose real quick. Y'all see I'm talking a little better. I'm not as nasally as I was before. Took me some time to blow my nose shot to clean this. Nice little promo would be nice, people, with some new tissues and stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is. So go into your TV rundown real quick too, talking about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So this week on the show, we saw Kalina had to confront Ashley in her icicle colored hair, looking like orange creamsicle, had to confront her about turning up too much and how she just had to take a break from her. And Tony was also talking about how Kalina had to focus on this new album and stuff like that. So it took some time to really she had to really stop from turning up, basically. So it is what it is. So we shall see how this plays out next season. Next episode. Even with the reunion show. I also want to do an interview with her too. So David Dwayne, we need to make that happen with that interview with Kalina real quick. So I would love to interview her on the show. It is I would love to. Also you had who else? I forgot. Oh, Tammy and Waka got married, so that was really cute too. But Mama Deb ain't too hot about that. She really upset about them because she wasn't able to walk Waka down the aisle. So we should see how this plays out too. Another thing too that came on Orange Is the New Black. Now I finally finished out this season, people. I said I was going to stretch out this whole 13 episode arc until 13 weeks into the summer, but even though it's 11 weeks in the summertime, I was going to stretch this whole situation out. But I had to watch it, and I had to see where V got her top knocked off, people. And R&B Divas Atlanta people was really good too. The reunion show, Angie Martinez, Angie Stone walking off the set and she being all upset and whatnot, and Wendy Williams bringing the heat and really giving you all the information that you really want. So I love that reunion special. I love when Wendy Williams hosts stuff too. Like I always tell y'all, she's one of my radio idols. So it's always a good look to really hear her really, go in on people. When she hawked down on everyone, people. So y'all know how she used to do on her radio show. So moving on real quick to some chart news before we close out the show. Now, this week, Trey Songz debuts at number 1 on the R&B hip hop album charts and also the Billboard 200 overall album chart with his album Trigger, selling over 105,000 copies. This is his second number 1 album. So clap bravo to you, Trey Songz. Someone who's not doing so hot on the album charts right now is